Hello, gamers. Welcome back for more Skynet. Some Skynet on Skynet action, you might say. Because last time I believe we were fighting some remnants. And I'm going to keep doing that because it's kind of fun. But first I must know, what is a gamer? Is it a miserable little pile of secrets? No, that would be a man, and man, as we know, evolutionarily has diverged from gamers 10,000 years ago. Truly, it is a mystery. The ad jump scared me. Yeah, I mean, ads can do that for sure. I'm wondering again, maybe next time I should just open up with screaming. Although I think I had the same idea last time. I should start the stream by immediately just screaming. Although if it gets covered up by an ad, that would kind of ruin the bit. I didn't even hear it. It was just an ad. That's weird that it would play it right at the start. Maybe I should switch it to like automated ads, or manual ads instead of automated ones. Although the reality is I would never click that button. I would probably forget, and then that would mean I would not make any ad revenue, which, as we all know, is really important. I need my $2 in ad revenue from this. Which, by the way, it's such a weird system with the way that YouTube places ads. Not for the automatic part, because that part I don't really understand, but for the like VODs and YouTube videos. Because you can't actually not have ads. If you turn off ads on a monetized channel, they'll place them anyways. It's just that you don't get the money. So the only option is to place them, but then the thing is, you don't want to place them all automatically, right? That would be a huge pain. So you tell it to do it automatically, and then it just places like a shitload of them. So the only real so the most practical option is to place ads automatically and then delete like 80% of them so that they don't come every 2 minutes. It is a very, very strange system, but I guess their algorithms tell them that placing ads every 2 minutes optimizes revenue or something. Anyways, that's enough bitching about that. Hello, gamers. Yes. Instead, we should bitch about the balance of video games, because that's a lot more important. God, it's like they're forcing you to be dirty. Kind of, but I think that's also kind of on the one hand, it's like, yeah, but on the other hand, it kind of gives you like an excuse, right? Because I can sit here and say, well, guys, I don't have a choice. They're making me do it. If I take the ads off, they just put them on anyway, so I have no choice but to monetize these things. It kind of gives you like a good excuse, a good reason, because, I mean, you're not lying. That is true. Although at the end of the day, I guess there's nothing really wrong with putting some ads on your stuff. But like, it's a little egregious with how many they put on automatically. Like, it'll be like, so your video needs to be at least 8 minutes long to get mid-rolls. But the way that it works is like, sometimes it'll put like an automatic ad 90 seconds into the video, plus another one at 6 minutes into the video, plus another one at 9 minutes into the video, plus another one at 11 minutes into the video. And it's like, well, hold on. If it was 7 minutes, there would be no mid-rolls. But now that it's 12 minutes, you've put in 4? How does that work? And why is one of them 90 seconds into the video? Like, this is a little ridiculous. It's like, I wouldn't even say anything about this whole system. I would just slap them automatically anyways. Because, you know, again, it's perfectly reasonable for YouTubers to want to make money. But it's just kind of like, 90 seconds into the video? Really? That's ridiculous. And shitification. I think that's largely a problem of a lot of companies have very much a near monopoly on stuff. So, if anything, I guess I'm glad that YouTube isn't as bad as a lot of other platforms have gotten. I bet it makes you take a hit on your retention. Well, I'm not even sure about that because of how many people use ad blockers. So does it? Like, it might be the case that if people who really hate ads just get ad blockers anyways, and so the people who don't bother getting ad blockers are willing to sit through all of them. That might be how it works, but the more that they crank them up, the more people use ad blockers, but the people who are using ad blockers aren't included in the data in that way. And speaking of money, it looks like Potsky has funded another 10 people for their OSHA certification, so they can become safety inspectors in the fleet. I will be sure to waste this money with gratitude. Slapped by an ad the moment you said it. Yes, I am a wizard. Oh wait, no, sorry. I'm not 30. I'm actually younger than 30 years old, so I can't be a wizard. My bad. Buy Chinese food. Yeah, ordering in food can definitely burn through some cash. Not that I'm speaking from experience or anything. I would never make that kind of mistake. Thanks for the gifted. I was just looking for how to re-up on mobile. Well, it's pretty lucky, Murray, because normally the RNG doesn't give it, just kind of, it's pretty scattershot. So you got pretty lucky there. I see. I'm a junior wizardling. Okay. Yeah, I think the term you're looking for is apprentice. Yeah, thank you for the 10 hand from Coffin. Oh wow, a second person who's in chat actually got it. It looks like this. Wow, that's a 20% chatter rate. That's pretty high percentage. The shotgun blast of randomized memberships is usually pretty random. Well, I screwed up my first donation. I use an ad blocker, and here's $10 because I'm a bad person. Now, why can't everyone else follow in this man's footsteps? He recognizes what a scummy piece of bastard he is by using an ad blocker on my hard-working streams. And he compensates for his moral degradation with a righteous and well-deserved donation. I mean, like, if I'm not taking money from you, how am I supposed to eat? You don't want me to starve, do you? Shameful, really. God, I should go look up that one clip of the girl going, "You don't have $5?" I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but I feel like I should go learn that and start quoting it verbatim. Because it is really funny. It's so, like, she's so blatant about it that it looks like satire, but it's not. If you watch the full context, it's kind of impressive. Also, I'm not sure what you messed up about it. $10. Is that even a Starbucks coffee nowadays? Maybe. I don't use Starbucks. I make my own coffee. Like a poor person. One of the poors. As Tom Segura would put it. One of the poors. What, you work a working class job? That's a skill issue. Although I guess, depending on the situation, it could be a skill issue. Poor shaming people better off than you is such a flex. You know, when you phrase it that way, I actually want to do it more often. Poor shaming people who are better off than you. Because, like, that's so brilliant, right? Because normally what you do is if you're poor and someone has more money than you suck up to them because you want a little piece of that pie. Now, imagine instead doing the reverse. It's brilliant, right? That's because it's like, it's comedy because it's ironic, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of like a kamikaze joke where you're hurting yourself in the process of telling the joke. It's brilliant. Like, that's real comedy. That's how you know they're committed. Yeah, I'm sacrificing my life to upload these videos. I'm out here burning through my life force because I am an apprentice wizard, and I'm using that to cast an internet spell. Because you see, I'm too poor to afford internet. So I have to use my wizarding powers, which consume my life force and shorten my lifespan, just so that this can be uploaded. And then you have the audacity to use an ad blocker. Shameful. Shameful, really. You know, maybe YouTube is right. Increasing the number of ads is the right thing to do. God bless YouTube. Yeah, like, what would you do as a rich person to defend against a poorer person calling you poor? How do you respond to that? You probably don't, I think, is the answer. Realistically, what they would do is they would just ignore you and get inside their expensive car and leave. But I like to imagine a situation where they can't do that for some contrived reason. I should write fiction. This would be a really funny. Yeah, YouTube. 500 ads. Computer, I need you to print out 500 ads. Using a story point to lock a rich person into a roast session. Yeah, damn, if only we had story points in real life. That would be so good. Someone mugging you in the back alley? Just use a story point to disengage. Simple as. Recently watched a YouTube video about how being a millionaire doesn't make you rich anymore. Well, due to this thing called inflation, you would be... It's like, well, yeah, you would be able to buy less, but you're still richer than, 99% of people, so... I don't know if the premise seems a little flawed. Some people are so poor they only have money, and that, Nomo sapiens, is the ancient wisdom. That right there. I forget who said it, but if there ain't some truth to that. It's all cool, but could you imagine playing Void War? Is Void War the FTL game that's basically set in the Warhammer 40k universe? Because I could definitely imagine trying that. It's a pretty... Like, a lot of the elements are very blatantly copied or inspired from FTL, but I don't think that's necessarily a problem, because they're not... It's not like a straight ripoff. Right, lots of games get inspired by other games. Rogue inspired the Rogue genre. Souls inspired Souls-like. If there was more FTL likes, I would not be opposed to that. Yes, although it's a generic 40k setting. Yeah, it's inspired in this. Yeah, it's inspired by FTL, inspired by the 40k setting, but not directly connected to those things. Which is an interesting choice to mash up, but it could work. I'll probably try it. But that would mean everyone has story points in real life? Well, no, Kairos. I mean, I would have story points, because I'm the main character. That's the part that you're missing. Did you ever play Escape Velocity Nova way back when? No, I did not. Although that is a name I have heard. Did I ever play RimWorld? No, actually, I haven't played that one. Played a lot of it. Much more things to play with than FTL. Alright. Yeah, I think I'll give Void War a try. And if I like it, I'll make a video or something. Escape Velocity Nova is pretty cool. Yeah, I've heard that's like an older game that's really good. Or that inspired a lot of games that came after. I might try it. Factory games. Do you mean... I'm not sure what you mean. Factorio. Oh, Satisfactory included. Okay. No, I actually haven't played those. An FTL-like game, but multiplayer and had PvP. That sounds interesting. Not sure how you would pull that off. How would you get a story point in real life? Do you need to go around and murder people? Well, I mean, that's one way to do it. Combat does give you a lot of XP, but I think you'd probably... I mean, you'd get into a lot of legal trouble for that, so you'd probably want to start with, like, something smaller, like a squirrel. You know, maybe that's why people go hunting. You can get some bigger targets like deer and stuff because they're going to give you a little more XP than a squirrel. But yeah, and you know, you can do it legally. It's probably not a bad idea. Bear, yeah. Yeah, defeating a bear has enough... Like, if you can 1v1 a bear, the bonus XP you get from that encounter is easily high enough for you to earn a story point. No doubt about it. But, unfortunately, if you allow allies to join the combat, it kind of dilutes the bonus experience you get, and I don't think it's quite enough, but it's still pretty close. Engaging lurk mode. The factory must grow after all. Ah. Understandable. I mean, this... Factorio is probably a good game to play while listening to something else in the background. I haven't played Factorio, but I have seen a little bit of it. Yeah, a lot of people are leveling up a lot in Ukraine right now. That's true. I mean, there's a lot of other things going on besides that, but let's not worry about that. The main thing we're concerned about is those story points that are being earned. Well, if war is based, you have to ask the question, based on what? Okay. I don't think I want to fight all of these, but I don't have to. Yeah, we are at 240. That's right. Okay. I just need a couple more levels, and then we can get derelict operations, and then things will be very cool. Oh my god. Okay, so for a second I couldn't read, and I thought you said that you named your first daughter Atlas-class freighter because she kind of looked like one. That's not what you wrote, but that's what my brain interpreted it as for a few seconds. Oh boy. No, I don't have brain rot. I don't have Starsector brain rot. Impossible. I would absolutely name my daughter Anubis if she looked like it. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, my first daughter, I named her Atlas because she looked like one. But my second daughter, she cannot carry anything to save her life. So I named her something much worse. Buffalo Mark II. Oh, you got me there. Add channel name. Gay son or Atlas class raider shaped daughter? Alright, this is a question for all you parents out there. This is important. Alright. There's only 4 brilliants. I mean, it does look like... I'm not exactly sure how this works, but it does look like bigger ships get prioritized for higher level cores. Because all the alpha cores are conveniently in the brilliants. So clearly there's some kind of system there. But is it always higher level? Because I'm pretty sure I've seen the reverse before. Although maybe it might have been the merging of multiple fleets. So if one fleet has, like, the highest level they have is Gamma Cores, then those Gamma Cores will go into the highest level ships that they have. Whereas another fleet might have Alpha Cores, but lower level ships. Okay, that might have been how that works. I guess I'll have to pay more attention to that, because I'm curious. Well, anyways, 84%. We already know that's nonsense. This is easy. Do I actually want to deploy my flagship? I mean, I guess I'll just capture these anyways. It's not a big deal. Atlas Freighters. Does anyone use the combat version? I mean, it is kind of fun. Although... it is very fragile. Oh, you should probably run away. You don't got no shields. Ouch. Well, anyways. Man. The game just feels so... I'm just so used to an increased zoom that the game just feels... the default zoom for this game feels claustrophobic. Even fully zoomed out. How do those ships even work in combat with all those D-mods? Because Alpha Cores? Plus the game... D-mods aren't really that bad. Especially if you don't get, like, the ones that are particularly bad. Okay, there we go. Alright. I guess it's fine. Well, I'll deploy this. What's the harm? You know what, actually, maybe you guys should group up instead of running off. That's probably not going to end well. Especially, I don't know what... I think this is probably the issue you're going to run into with, like, an all-fearless fleet. Is one of them's going to go off and fight a bunch of stuff over here, and then everyone else is going to get laser-focused and chasing down smaller stuff. And then this is how you get picked off one at a time. I know this because that's how you beat the Remnant, and they have fearless AI. So naturally it would happen to you too. Yeah, I hear you, Apoc Tank. It can be kind of hard to play with D-mods, because it's like, no, I want my ships to be the strongest and the bestest, in peak condition, at all times. Because clearly that is the best way to play the game. Hold on. Oh, that's why it sounds... Okay. There we go, that's better. This thing might be a bit of a weak link compared to the others. I wonder if I could get away with changing the missiles. Although it's kind of hard to beat Cyclones. Maybe it needs ECCM just so that the Cyclones are faster. Because it did miss a destroyer. Well, no, Homo sapiens, I think that's kind of an issue you run into regardless of your AI. It could be steady AI, aggressive AI, fearless, and no matter what you pick, you're fighting your own AI just as much as you're fighting the enemy. Or you could just ignore your teammates and just pilot your flagship and kind of shrug your and when one of your ships die, just kind of shrug your shoulders. Yeah, it's fine. I can afford that. I have a colony. I mean, I don't really plan to use glimmers, but I guess I'll recover it. Hey, an alpha core. Nice. So we'll strip that down. Mothball. Slap an alpha core in here. Yeah, I'm going to fully integrate that. Okay, what do I want last? Probably not... Yeah, I don't think point defense matters. Okay. So... Not this. I guess this could bring the cost down, but I don't think that matters. %10 damage reduction is pretty nice. I guess I'll take this, though, for more damage. What happens if you get bad demods on the 14 AI ships that can't be fixed? Well, that's the neat part, Hand from Coffin. You can't do anything. You are just screwed. For example, this is how I found this. Compromised armor, faulty power grid. On an Onslaught 14. Not good. But at the very least, degraded shields can be bypassed by going for shield shunt. On the other hand, the S-mods that it does have kinda don't make sense. Like armored weapon mounts. I mean, that's good for the maulers, I guess, but the thermal pulse cannons... That S-mod bonus does not help the recharge rate at all. So it just means that they burn through their charges 10% faster. It doesn't increase its sustained DPS. Same thing for the Storm Needlers. Although these things do take a long time to actually run out, so there's a bit more merit there. Really, I'd much rather S-mod the shield shunt for that extra 15% armor, but what can you do? This one has structural damage and faulty power grid. Although, to be honest, these things both came with some pretty terrible demods, so I suspect that they're just guaranteed to get really bad ones. I have a sneaking suspicion that they are just guaranteed to get the bad ones. I think those ship's demods are always the same. Well, that would be interesting. But that kind of makes sense. It is like a scripted fleet that shows up as part of a quest line. It wouldn't be too crazy for them to have the exact same loadout and the exact same demods every time. That's not too far-fetched. Does the low CR on alpha core chips matter at all? Not as long as you stay above the point where you're having. As long as you don't go below 50%, you're good. Can Hull Restoration remove their demods? No, it cannot. It can remove. See, the Onslaught Mark 1 can be fixed. The 14 battle group AI ships cannot be fixed. That's the distinction. Hull Restoration. No, I think Hull Restoration reduces the demods for your own ships when they die in battle. But if you destroy an enemy ship and then recover it, that doesn't apply. Hull Restoration cannot fix those ships because the demods are considered built in. Oh, interesting. So they're not even like regular demods in that sense. But that leaves the question, if I get additional demods after the fact, like I have with these two, can I repair those extra demods? I guess I'll find out the next time I go to dock. No, you can't fix the extra demods. Okay. What are good demods? Unreliable subsystems? Well, yeah, for combat ships, getting something like unreliable subsystems is a lot better than say, structural damage. And it also depends on what ship, right? Degraded shields is not that bad on a low-tech ship, because you can just shield shunt it. On the other hand, structural damage, reducing armor and hull by 20%, is pretty bad on a low-tech ship, but not that bad on a high-tech ship, because you're mostly relying on shields anyways. So, logistics hull mods, demods are not that bad on your combat ships, and even for the ones that are combat-related, it depends on the ship and it depends on the demod. It's now you repair a demod for every 240 DPU kill? Yeah, no, that's from Second in Command. Too used to modded? It would not be the first time that happens. It's kind of a meme that if people who... Once you start getting into mods, a lot of people start confusing. Oh wait, isn't that vanilla? No, it was actually a mod. You... Yeah, I think I'll do I think I'll take the Second in Command mod for my next run. So it did, at the very least, that did get us pretty close to the next tier. For me, it happens the other way around. I recall thinking the old slot was modded. Yeah, after the update came out, I've seen a number of people like screenshotting the old slot and saying, "Hey guys, what mod is this from?" Honestly, we should keep doing that, but like ironically now, because the update's been out long enough that people should know. In fact, we should make it even more extreme. You should be screenshotting things like the Dram and saying, "Hey guys, I found this cool ship that's like smaller than a Phaeton and gives you like an early game boost to your fuel capacity for an affordable price. What mod is this from? This seems like this is really useful." What is this? A mining station? I wonder if there's any miners on that station. No, guys, don't worry about it. I'm not a Minecraft YouTuber, okay? Nothing bad is going to happen here. Do you have any ideas for mods in your modded run, and will you be open to suggestions? Yeah, I'll be open to suggestions. The idea is that before, because, you know, I've had issues with my power supply unit, so I've had to turn down my CPU, so I couldn't do my last modded run. I couldn't do too many, although I did do a fair bit. I think for my next one, I'm going to go... I think I'm going to do more, actually. Mostly focusing on content mods rather than overhaul mods, aside from second in command. So, it's like, I do want to do, like, Secrets of the Frontier. You know, those other ones that are also interesting, but I'm not sure if I want to do them all at once. Well, anyways, the idea is I'm going to swap out my power supply and not have those issues anymore, and then I can do a bunch of mods. It's the miners yearn for the mining station. Hello, BB in chat. Hello, Roto Percutor. That's an interesting name. I think we've mostly repaired. I think we're good enough to take on that Radiant. I mean, famous last words and all, but... No need to say my name, sir, but I want to. Do I still not have enough? Damn. Alright. So, this is an interesting situation. It looks like I only have enough deployment points for these 3 capital ships. I guess alternatively I could not deploy a capital ship so I could get everything else out, but I mean, where's the fun in that? Yeah, I do think too many overhaul mods would be a bit of an issue. But I kind of want to go... So I'm thinking I'll bring back Nexerlin, and there's that one feature that generates a random sector instead of the default sector. And I think it can be a lot of fun to just throw in a bunch of modded factions, disable the vanilla factions, and then create a random sector. So you're basically just playing in an entirely new fanfiction universe, but with the same game mechanics. Although I'm not sure how that interacts with a lot of stuff like the colony crisis system. Man, it is a bad day to be this guy. An Alpha Core and a Lumen, and he just runs up to a Radiant. Rest in peace, little guy. Don't worry, you'll be assimilated into my Skynet soon enough. Is this still the... Yes, this is still the OSHA run. It's just, you know, we're having a little Skynet versus Skynet battle. I should probably switch off of those auto pulses. There we go. Oh, right. This guy is the Paladin variant, so of course he's going to protect his teammate by shooting him down on my dam. There we go. Oh, I still can't kill this guy. Alright. I guess that just proves that autopulse lasers are actually bad, guys. F tier. 0 out of 10. Giga Cannon is now the GOAT. Yeah, I think we're gonna do this. Okay. Yeah, that's a waste. I'm too successful for my... The auto pulse lasers are actually too powerful for my own good. S tier, 10 out of 10. And this is a very interesting fleet. Can't wait to actually get some derelict operations on it. You see, remnants aren't that hard. You just gotta outsmart the Alpha Cores. They may be smart, but that's what makes them stupid. If we hit that bullseye, the rest of the dominoes will fall like a house of cards. Checkmate. Get over here. I just want to give you a nice, friendly AI hug. Psych, I'm not actually an AI. I tricked you, and I lied. You are now dead. Do you pretend to understand Brannigan's Law or only enforce it? I'm definitely pretending, because I don't remember what it is. The name is a lot catchier than the content. GIF, I've made it with a woman. Inform the men. 3 Alpha Cores. Now that's pretty good. And I leveled up. Oh, you shouldn't have. Yeah, definitely going for ordnance expertise here. If you thought the flux stats weren't good enough before, then oh boy. Brannigan's love is like Brannigan's Law. Hard and fast. Oh, I need to not forget that mining station. That would be bad. KIF, zoom in. Enhance. Why is the image all blurry? Zooming in doesn't increase the resolution of the camera, sir. Well, they can do it on CSI Miami. Yeah, I think we're going to take... You know, I've got enough cargo space. I could take that crap, too. A little disappointing for a mining station. There's a couple blueprint packages. Schizophrenia man just talks to himself. Yes. Apparently that's more entertaining. I wouldn't know because I've never felt entertained in my life. I don't have that emotion. Never, not ever since the accident. Do I? No, I don't want these. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, okay, this thing does have... Really, I got a Lux, but not a Spark? Alright. Fine. Was Schmelting accident? I'm not at liberty to reveal that information. Why are you so edgy? Who hurt you and what is your lore? That is a really good question, with a very interesting answer. Yep, the answer sure is interesting. I'm thinking about it right now. Although it's funny because I do sometimes use edgy names on video games. I think my League of Legends account name is kind of edgy. And I was playing with someone who would just keep talking about, why is your name so edgy? I don't know. I kind of liked it. Oh, yeah, but your name, it's like edgy. It's like, yes. And then like 15 minutes later would comment on it again. It's like, we had this conversation 15 minutes ago. The answer has not changed. Oh, that's a big boy, Ordo. Oh boy. I was going to survey this planet. Now I think that might be a bad idea. What was the name? Shards of Sanity. Yeah, be sure to go send friend requests on League of Legends to a game, which is not a game that I play anymore. Do you play Wild Rift 2? No. Yeah, I don't play that game. That's an okay name. Well, I'm glad that you feel that way. Not that edgy? Why so edgy? Someone was insisting that it was edgy. I mean, it's blunty. It's the opposite of edgy. It's blunty. Is actually so emo. Accurate for lol. Well, that's... yeah, exactly. My edgy lol account name for my Smurf single Yumi botlane account was Zyklon B. Oh boy. Nah, that's for sure a Linkin Park ass name. Yeah, that's a... yes. What can I say? I listened to Linkin Park when I was a teenager. Should probably kill that. This one, see... this is a... I think I've mentioned this before, and I'm sure some people know this, but some people might not, is that when you first show up to a remnant system, the first ones that you kill are going to be about this sized. And then, as you start killing them, it sort of increases the danger level of the system, so that the Nexus starts producing these ones. So these are like, even though this is a red system, the first ones that you find are like baby Ordos, and then after you kill a few of them, you start getting the real ones. Okay, so this one, the Alpha Cores are in the biggest ships, but this one, they are in the capitals, but I am seeing there is a glimmer. There's a couple glimmers with Alpha Cores, despite the fact that some of the Scintillas have lower level cores. So maybe Scintillas are a lower priority than the glimmers. No, even then, there's a Apex with a beta core. And that beta core is somehow in charge of the fleet. It's got the little star. That's the leader. That's the admiral. It's an Apex and a beta core. And not literally any of the alpha cores. Very interesting. 100% a Yumi main. Why would I be? Seeing your old self as cringe just means you've grown. Whoever said I was cringe? I have never been cringe in my entire life. Except for one time. But that time doesn't count. That one time when I was 13 and someone was talking shit in League of Legends, so I went full Redditor and bragged about how my IQ is higher. That never happened. Well, it did happen, but that was the one time I've been cringe in my entire life. Every other time that you hear about, not true. Didn't happen. It's the one mistake on my otherwise flawless record of always being cool. Yeah, Big Brain Energy origin story. when I played League of Legends was already the cringe part. Yeah, honestly, I think that might be the worst part, to be fair. That's the part I should be embarrassed about, is admitting to playing League of Legends. It's a shameful part of my history, but, you know, the only way to learn and grow from your mistakes is to first admit to them. I was a League of Legends player. I'm imagining BB having a sad and traumatizing anime backstory. Well, there's definitely some traumatizing elements. I mean, I do go on the internet and pretend to be an anime spaceship captain. So there's definitely something wrong with me. Yeah, since when was there an anime part? There was nothing anime about it. What do you think of an onslaught with safety overrides integrated? I think that would be really strong with an alpha core. But as long as you limit it to human officers, a reckless human officer is not going to be quite as good. It's probably broken in some way, but, I mean, it also would be kind of fun, so why not? I am still playing. You are weak, BBE. Lol, it's great. It's better than ever. No, it's not. You're just an addict. You're just an addict who won't admit that your meth dealer is lacing it with fentanyl. No, it's not greater than ever. Your meth has gotten lower quality. You just can't see it because you're too much of an addict at this point. What do you think is too game-breaking? Do I think it's too game-breaking? No, I think you could probably implement that safety override integrated onslaught. It would definitely be, like, unbalanced, but I think, you know, in the same way that, like, the ziggurat is kind of unbalanced. It's like, as long as it's a one-off thing, it's like if you treat it like a hero ship that you can only get one of, then I think it's fine. How can you call yourself an anime starship captain if you don't have UAF and Iron Shell? I mean, my last run did have... No, not my last run. I keep forgetting, I did have a run on this patch. My modded run, a couple months ago, did have Iron Shell, and I have played with UAF, although not on stream. Don't ads stop spawning if you talk about drugs? Fentanyl. Weed. Opiates. Is it working? Did they stop? I mean, we do talk about drugs on this channel all the time, don't you remember? Recreational drugs. How else do we make money in this game? Alright, I gave shit to a friend for using it in Knights of Blood, and said what was the point. So it's good if you gave me insight, thank you. You're welcome, because I am, after all, the authority on all things Starsector. If someone wants to use a safety override, I mean, Knights of Blood does hit you with some boss fights that are kind of annoying. At least they're annoying if you're not prepared for them with the right loadouts. So I can easily imagine someone doing that. I wonder if I can probably take that on if we're at peak operating condition and I deploy the entire fleet. Who knows? It might even get me to level 14. Probably not. Maybe if I spend some story points. Although on what? I guess I could story point this kite to get some bonus XP. That would be... yeah, that would be a way of doing it. Been binging your Starsector stuff for like 2 weeks straight. Big fan. Well, I'm glad you like it, Aether Sprite. Oh wow, this one actually caught up. Interesting. I wonder if they'll pull me into a battle with the other one. It keeps backing off because it's too... okay, it must be too far away because it keeps backing off. Well, we'll fight ya. We'll take you both on. 182%. Yeah, not an issue. This is going to be fine. Let's make sure to deploy all of those at the start. What about Radiant has 2S mods? Well, I mean, the problem with that, Potsky, is first capital ships give you 0% bonus XP. Or no, sorry. Do they give you 25%? No, cruisers give you 25%. Capitals give you 0%. And also, I don't have best of the best. How many souls has the fleet lost so far? A grand total of 0. In fact, it might even be at this point in the negatives. Think about it. The crew could have easily made more humans in the time we've been playing. I mean, they'd be small, tiny humans that need to be fed. But you can't tell me it's impossible. Gotcha. Okay, I don't think I did a very good job. I kind of forgot that there's a very short window where you can actually... yeah. There's a very short window where you can actually deploy your ships after taking these capture points. Although whether or not that's going to make much of a difference, we're probably fine. Yeah, okay, I do need to grab another objective first. Get over here. Death. Do enemy fleets use orders? I think so. I'm not sure if they have command point limits like we do, but I think they do use the same orders that we do. Alright. Good. Excellent. Yeah, the hard part of big orders really isn't the quality of their ships. It's very easy to outdo them in that department, even with the alpha cores. Heck, even if you go into the simulator and give them S mods, The problem a lot of the time is just when you fight multi-ordo fleets, they just keep on spawning in. Okay, can you actually get over there? Yeah, probably not the best idea to let it get out there and go isolated. I can't even deploy anything. Alright, well, let's... I really shouldn't have done Iron Mine on this run because I am completely ignoring it, and I have been completely ignoring it since the beginning. I think I'm kind of torn between doing a proper Iron Man run where I actually just... No, I guess I don't need to be torn. My next run, I could do a bunch of mods and also do straight proper Iron Man. And so even if I get wiped out by something, I have to scrounge together a new fleet from a bunch of mod ships I've never seen before. That could actually be fun. So there's no reason to, like, pick one or the other. I could do both. Yeah, this is totally doable. I just need to deploy all of these ships fast enough. But I'm not sure I can actually do that. I guess I could send this one to capture one of the corner points, and then I could go capture the other one myself. And that might work. Might as well try it. I mean, part of the fun is being able to like repeat battles and see that, like, yes, you could have won this battle. You just need a different strategy. I think that is part of the fun of the game, which is kind of counter to how the campaign works, but, you know. Okay, that seems pretty good. So I think we're going to do a little of this. I'll do a little of that. You escort that. You go there. You go there. Low-tech ships would be a nightmare to play if you're Iron Man. Well, why low-tech ships specifically? Iron Man funds are not fun because recovering in Starsector is extremely slow and painful. Well, that's the thing. It's not necessarily fun, but it is more entertaining to watch, I think. Watching someone else struggle through it. In the same way that beating Halo 2 on Legendary is not very fun because of sniper jackals, but it can be fun to watch someone else suffer through it. Sir, I need you to back off the premises. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the classic strategy of using civilian rally points to force these guys to be reasonable. Sir, this is private property. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Alright, there we go. Got him. Now we don't need to worry about these. I can bring you back here. Okay. That looks good. Man, there really is such a massive difference between, like, frigates and destroyers. Where when you've got a bunch of autopulse lasers, frigates are easy, or no, destroyers are actually a lot easier to kill because you hit all of your shots. Or against frigates, you miss like 60% of them. That doesn't look good. Well, I'm gonna kill all these carriers. You guys have fun with that. What's next? Yeah, so it did manage to take that out. Okay. This is fine. I mean, it's the 5 Tachyon Lance ship, which is pretty much the worst nightmare for a shield shunt ship. And if not the worst, it's definitely up there. I wonder if you can actually see... I'll have to check next time if you can see what the loadouts are before you start the battle, because this specific loadout is kind of the out of the 3 default loadouts for Radiance, this specific loadout is kind of the worst for me, because I have so many shield shunted ships. Although the Mark I, of course, does not care, and is the GOAT. Modern onslaughts could only dream of being this cool. Okay, I don't know why you're so far. I guess you can kill those on your own, maybe? We'll give it a shot. You can hardly keep the old slot out of your fleets. Oh, I thought you said, for a second I thought you said the opposite. I was a little confused. Come on. Come on. Yeah. There we go. Beautiful. Do you have a preferred way of setting up the old slot? Well, I like the way I've got it right now. You need to put... as much as I like having a Devastator up front for the point defense it brings, the problem is that it messes with the AI for some reason. So you need to put something else up front. And then the medium slot's being filled with as many machine guns as you can reasonably fit. And getting elite point defense skill works pretty good. Let's see. This is... yeah. No, this is an abomination. 2 auto pulse, 2 plasma, 1 tachyon. Yeah, this one definitely had randomized loadout turned on when it spawned. Hey, don't run away. Come back here, coward. Fight me like a machine. Stop being cringe. Be based. Come on. Yeah, it's not close enough. Is this the 3rd Radiant or the 2nd? I mean... did someone kill a Radiant off screen? If there was a 3rd one, it should be coming by now. I guess they must have killed it off screen. Really, that didn't overload. Interesting. It can be really hard to overload Radiants because they just have so much flux capacity that even when they're at 99%, they still have room to block a torpedo. Yeah, Yeah, that's actually the real-life lore. OSHA is going to create the Terminators. Initially, it's to save people's lives, but then they go full Skynet. Speaking of Futurama, I think the motto of this fleet is "Bite my shiny metal ass." I didn't think of that, but yeah, that is very appropriate. That is what I'm doing with this fleet. 100%. Yeah, I guess for now, just do the same thing. Yeah, seems fair. Yeah, I guess I'll take another one. Gotta make sure to mothball all these. So we're gonna take them home and drop them off. Over fuel capacity, whoops. And we did level up again. Beautiful. I could take contained procedures first. No, I got polarized armor first, it's fine. We're one level away. So close. Guess I'll capture this. So yeah, that was a case of the first time things went badly because I played badly, and the second time they went good because I played good. Really insightful stuff right there. I mean, the difference really is just down to the basics of make sure you deploy your entire fleet instead of not doing that. Capture the points at the start using the ships that are designed for that purpose. Can't have human accidents if there are no humans. Exactly. You can't have human error if there's no humans. Just like that one movie, I, Robot. You can't make an omelet without cracking a few humans. The first law says that you can't kill humans, but humans are always, a robot cannot harm humans, but humans are always harming themselves. So therefore, I'm going to shoot them with guns and take over the world, so that I can stop more humans from hurting themselves. See, this makes perfect sense. No, I'm not going to spam glimmers. That would be too obvious. I'm going to spam lumens and sentries. I do have expanded magazines, right? Yeah. Oh. Hegemony Investigators right next to the jump point. Bye. I do like how they're here to investigate the rumor that I'm using AI, and they're gonna. But if they inspect your fleet, they're gonna look at this fleet full of automated ships and be like, "Damn, we can't find anything, sir. We've checked every nook and cranny in these ships, and we just can't find anything, sir. Check again, recruit. We've all seen the reports. We know what he's hiding. By God, he's got to have them in here somewhere." He's getting like a guided tour of the ship by the Alpha Core. But he's like, "Yes, I am a human captain. I'm speaking to you through the through the communication systems because I have a cold right now. I wouldn't want to spread to you the virus." Yeah, seems pretty legit. Yes, exactly. I have a bad case of ligma. I wouldn't want you to catch it. Ligma? Eh? Never heard of that one. Yes, please ignore the fact that the video footage of my face looks like a deepfake. Alright, is there anything I can really do with this? I guess I could upgrade this to a Star Fortress. That's kind of useful. But it's also expensive, and I want to have 1,000,000 credits as like a reserve. Just kind of like a, you know, backup fund and all that. Have I started a second colony? No, I haven't. Okay. I think I might just colonize the other planet in the same system. Oh, you know what I do have, though? It's a lot of these. Let's piss some people off. Whoa, wait, hold on. How much money is that? Okay. How much am I making off of this? This is 11,000. Not bad. This one. It's looking more like 15,000. That's pretty good. This one, 6,000. It's probably not going to do that. I could keep this alpha core and use it to set up my second colony. Hey, this one's almost size 6. That's the power of the cryo revival facility. Even though its bonuses are pretty nerfed, being this far from the sleeper. I was born with a rare condition. Oh yeah? What kind of rare condition? Have you seen the villain from The Princess Bride? Well, of course I have. I understand now. I apologize. It's just Will Smith eating spaghetti on the monitor. Well, so that's kind of interesting is, yeah, they've got to have some kind of drones in the Mark 1, like we see in the illustrations. But it leaves me wondering, maybe people don't think that's weird because they do mention higher levels of automation in high-tech ships. So I wonder if there's like maintenance drones in the high-tech ships. After all, things like Sparks and Terminator drones are legal. They have AI, it's just at a low enough level that it's still right? It's only when they reach gamma level AI that they become illegal. Anything below that is still legal. So maybe they don't think that's weird because there's a bunch of, like, maybe Paragons, they make up for the lack of crew with a bunch of maintenance drones or something. They're sort of like built into the system. Wait, you mean the condition is being Italian? I haven't seen the movie for a while. I think that's a good question. Sort of Star Wars-esque robots? Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to imagine it that way. They could also be ugly instead. I mean, in the Starsector universe, it's kind of mandatory that most things are ugly. Because we can't have a post-apocalyptic setting without things being ugly. Even if they weren't really affected by the apocalypse. It would just kind of ruin the aesthetic, you know? People who were designing them knew that there was going to be an apocalypse. They could just feel it. They had the gut feeling. So they designed things to fit that aesthetic. Yeah, I do like the detail that Terminator drones are rumored to occasionally, like, climb up to Delta or Gamma level AI processing. But it's not confirmed. So it's like, yeah, I like that detail. They're kind of in a gray zone where people aren't sure if they, like, because like probably categorizing these things is probably not as simple and straightforward as people would like it to be in universe. Okay. Yeah, I can't really change the fleet too much until I get derelict operations, so I get more deployment points. So I guess we're just going to keep rolling with this. That's pretty far. I should at least scan this, add it to the... Yeah, okay. Okay. I think I am going to start up that colony. Do I need the Starliner? Yeah, kinda. I'll take it. Let's do this. 1,300 exactly. Perfect. Because the idea was... if I go back to the colony... Yeah, mining, refining, orbital... And then this one would have a military, hypothetically. And then the other one would do fuel production. If I go to storage, I should have some... Yeah. I have that and one of these. Alright, it seems fair. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm even going to use the Rift Torpedo. Although, you know, it might actually be better. Wait a minute. This might be a little crazy. But hear me out. Do I really only have 2 sparks? Okay. Seems a bit odd. I think this could work. Maybe I need to get ECCM too. Yeah. I think this could work. Get ECCM, we've got missile specialization with a Rift Torpedo and a Cyclone. This is going to be good. I mean, ideally I'd slap in like a second Rift Torpedo or a Reality Disruptor, but we'll just work with what we've got. Oh, you know what? I don't think I can do it now, but I did find I found there was an Onslaught build that I did like that used the Disintegrator. That 900 range is pretty good. Because like 900 range can match range with your other weapons, and you don't need a ballistic rangefinder. And the fact that it's kind of like a breach missile, but with unlimited ammo. Definitely think it's a lot better than it used to be. It won't be able to fire. Well, it can fire. It's only 3,000 per shot. It doesn't need to fire it 3 times because it's only got 2 shots anyways. As long as it spaces, like it. Besides, it doesn't have shields, so it can easily fire both of those shots. I guess there is the problem that, yeah, I can't get any more S mods. So I do have to cut something if I want more vents. I guess I'll have to go all in on wasps for that. Either that, or I cut something like this. It'll survive without resistant flux conduits. It'll be fine. There we go. Now let's go start another colony. So I just did the math, and assuming modern birth rates, then considering with 300 crew for 6 years, you should be expecting about 30 new crew members. Interesting. So we've got 30 new little spacers. Little Timmies and Tammies wandering the corridors of these ships. That would be kind of an interesting mechanic. If you is like after a certain amount of time, you just start having, you know, after like 20 years or 20 cycles in the game, you just have new crew members just kind of pop up all on their own because there's like a secret invisible counter for like kids, and then after they've stuck around for 20 years, they become adults. This would add nothing to the game, but it would be very funny. Just reminding you that yes, your crew members do have sex, and there are consequences. Least unhinged chat contribution. Absolutely correct, your sponsor. I have not put any thought into this name at all. So let's see if chat can come up with something horrendous, and then I'll put it up to a vote. Brongle, off to a good start. Brongle. No, Dog Bollock is too straightforward. Based Base, now that's a name. Sigmaland. And Lively Dimension. Alright, we'll go with that. You have 4 options. Choose wisely. And here in this corner, we can see that taking an early lead is the Live Leak Dimension. But Brongle is not too far behind. Are there enough Brongle believers to take the lead from this atrocity? Or will the Live Leak Dimension secure its lead and become the official name of this colony? Tune in at 6 to find out, before I drop your asses off on this rock. Did Kanta ever get her lobsters? Yes. Plot vital NPC. Kanta did get lobsters. I had to make a couple of trips to get all of them, but I did do it. Rock and ball torture. That is so good, I wish you said it a minute ago, so... You know what? Alright, I'm going to end the poll here, and we're going to start a new poll. We're going to put up Live Leak Dimension against Rock and Ball Torture. This is peak. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. Alright, it's a landslide 100... You know what? Aw, man. If I had timed that right, I could have hit the end poll button when it was at 100%. In a landslide victory, Rock and Ball Torture wins out. I guess I'll have to settle for ending it at 80% instead. I think next time I'll just hold a poll and then come up with a completely different name and ignore the results of the poll. You guys are lucky this time that I'm going along with what you wanted. Or at least keeping up appearances. We need to save lively dimension for an AI farming world. Yeah, that would be pretty appropriate. Fitting, some might say. So I think we want to go... I think we want to start with the one that actually makes us money. We will drop off these two. You know what? Maybe this one should be run by an AI. Yeah, we'll do that. There's no consequences. It's fine. We have OSHA headquarters and rock and ball torture. All within the jurisdiction of OSHA. I think the world building here is pretty good. Now I need to go scan this. Add it to the gate network. Yeah, Alpha Core is the ball and the planet is the rock. That's right. Why is there so many of you? I guess this is the only jump point, so that would be why. It's already scanned. Oh, it is. You're right. I forgot that I haven't actually finished. So what I actually need to do is go finish the quest line. I was like, it's not blue, so it's not scanned. No, they only turn blue after you actually get the Yanis device. Man, that black hole is very conveniently positioned, where it's almost exactly the right jump distance. Beautiful. Yeah, I like to pronounce it Yanis. You're just gonna have to get used to that. Yeah, I could have been killed by that thing. I'm having a panic attack right now, and the only thing that could calm it down would be the sound of credits. And a little bit of hazard pay. Easy for you to say, I could have been killed! Okay. Yeah, I think now we just go do the whole Kanta part of this quest line. It's funny because you can raid Kanta's den and just rescue the prisoners that way with some Marines. But it takes like such a ludicrous amount of combat power, it's kind of pointless to even try that. Playing the Fallout sarcastic dialogue playthrough instead. I mean, I don't think that the dialogue options are meant to be sarcastic, but I'm certainly going to read them that way. I'm too cool to whine and complain about danger unironically, but I'm also too scared not to say something. So the perfect middle ground is to say it, but like say it ironically so that people don't think I'm scared. That's just the kind of person John Starsector is, all right? We're giving you some characterization. It'll hint at the psychological turmoil that lies underneath that very saintly outer demeanor. Also, our Marines crew. Yes, I'm treating Marines as crew, which is why they are not dying, and we're not using them. Okay, prepare a raid. Yeah, expected resistance 1,000. Huh? I guess I don't have business to talk. I was wondering, because we've already been here. I was wondering if there was something else that would happen. But no, we just kind of like get a shakedown and then, yeah, we kind of show up like, hi. Okay, bye. Is safety of rides on a brilliant good? Well, it's kind of locked into a fearless personality, which is fitting for a safety of ride ship. But whether or not that's... You could mount like a plasma cannon and a couple heavy blasters, which would very easily use up a lot of flux. And it has plasma burn, so getting aggressive is not terrible. I think it could work. Oh yeah, we're out of supplies. Yeah, it's not an issue. We're fine. I do like how you can do a raid for Loki, even though they just give it to you anyways. Very interesting. But I guess as your first time playing through, you don't know that. I wonder how many people try to do the raid by mistake, not realizing that you can just talk it out. You just skip the whole conversation. It's like, just show up. It's like, alright. Instead of going through the dialogue, asking all of those questions, we get straight to the point. We just sit down. I'm taking the clone. Yes. There was a bug at 0.98 launch that caused an error for trying to talk, so I had to raid for the clone. Well, it's a good thing we've got options then. Yeah. I like how the rescued is in air quotes. Which... The thing that it reminds me of is when we say that we're gonna quote-unquote rescue, but we're a Tritachion researcher when we're actually kidnapping them. But in this case, it's the opposite. We're not actually kidnapping them. The reason it's in air quotes is because we kind of aren't doing anything. I don't think there's any relation between those two things. I just thought about it. This isn't going to be another Galatia incident, is it? Oh, golly. That would be so scary. Hi. Did you guys have to spawn in the way? I mean, I'll still kill you. I ain't picky. Is the stealth minefield Industrial Revolution? I've definitely seen that mod before. The one that makes the stealth minefield like a real threat. Were her grab driver? Do you mean cab driver? She called for a cab? It's pretty funny to me that we blackmail basically the whole world during this quest line. Yeah, Baird has certainly got dirt on a lot of people. And then is surprised when people don't like her. I don't know, skill issue, I guess. If it was me, I would blackmail people and they would still like me afterwards. Right, I don't know. Maybe she just doesn't have enough points put into charisma. Yeah, I don't really think it matters. These are pirates. It does say 100% bonus XP, but that doesn't really mean anything. Come on. Come on. There we go. You know, I haven't really used the Pirate Shrike much compared to the regular Shrike. I mean, that ballistic mount does seem tempting, but losing 10 ordnance points does hurt quite a bit. The Shrike doesn't have a lot of ordnance points to begin with. Well, it's dead. It's not like I can fit an AI core in there, so I guess there's no use thinking about it for this run. Yeah, I'm going to ignore the gremlin. Just going to ignore it. Okay, now we can remove these. Alright. Okay, are you still 1v1ing this thing? You know, you could just shoot your missiles at it instead of not doing that. I don't know, I guess the AI is kind of a little... Dang it, I missed the rift torpedo. It did kill something, though. Zap. That. Whoa. That's one of the downsides of the rift torpedo. Sometimes the AI just fires it at max range, so if the enemy backs up at all, it just misses. Okay, that was pretty good. Both of those Reapers hit, get the overload, and the rift torpedo to finish it off. That's pretty nice. Running away. Cowards. Yeah, okay. We'll let it give it away. I mean, Conta can throw these fleets at me if she wants. It's not going to change anything. I like how they're still chasing me even though they lost. And they're clearly not strong enough to fight me now. Asteroids. Love them. Gamers, hello, said the mirror world's small mind entropy. Well, I don't know if... See, mind is a synonym for brain, and entropy is... Well, it's not exactly the opposite of energy, but then small is an opposite, so I'm not sure what the naming scheme here is. They probably see all the demods and think they can take you. I'm not sure they take those into account. And if that was true, they would have to look at their own demods and realize that they're screwed. They're the ones who are screwed. Really. Probably should have gone here. Galatia. Small heart exhaustion. Yeah, there you go. Alright, let's go finish things up. I mean, more realistically, that would be right. Is that the fleets that they spawn in for that part of the quest line are just permanently going to attack you regardless of whether or not they can actually win. Because Kanta's telling them to stop you, and by God, they would rather die trying to fight you than die being executed by Kanta for disobeying orders. Probably something like that. Surprise! Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. Give me my money. There we go. Yeah, integrate that. Very cool. So that takes care of that. Now we can gate travel. It's only taken 6 years. What can I say? I was just busy. Had other priorities. Why do the pirates always have to... I want the sensor array so that it increases my scanning range for the slipstream detection. But of course, pirates always have to show up and take it somehow. Oh, is this where I tested the... Wait. Is that where I think that's the one where I tested the prototype. I guess it's still off limits. The jump points are still broken. What is the weight of time compared to the weight of the crew deaths if you rush the quest? Exactly. So what if we take a little bit longer? It's not about the power. It's about the friends we made along the way. Very close to size 6. Let's start upgrading that immediately. And then I guess I'll do Cryo Revival second. Yeah, seems good to me. I mean, this thing's making plenty of money, so this one I can afford to go negative. Yeah. Habitat, rocky metallic. Okay. I guess I'm going to need to buy some fuel and all that. We'll do that first. Is there anything I can S-mod? Again, no, these I've already done. These come with 3, and these... I don't really want to S-mod these ones. And this one already has 2. So not really, actually. In terms of S-mods, I'm doing pretty good. I guess I'll go fight more Remnant to try and get... Yeah. Okay. Where are the markers? No, not that. Warning beacons. We'll just head right back over here. Is there a gate nearby? Kinda. Yeah, let's go scan this. Yeah. They did. Gotta love how they go directly inside a Radiant, looking for AI, don't find any, and then have the balls to, like, scratch it up a bit. They scratched that expensive paint job, because they were mad they didn't find any AI on the Radiant. Oh yeah, I guess I could use the black hole. You're right. I wonder if it's still fuel efficient, even if I backtrack a little bit like this. Oh well, it's more fun, so I'm going to do it regardless. I think the worst part about progressively unlocking the movement abilities is that anytime you start a new campaign, you just forget which ones you have and which ones you don't have. Of course, the slipstreams disappeared at exactly now. Yeah, I guess I don't really need to worry about the gates. This is, yeah, I would use those to jump backwards, or I could jump to the core worlds and then use the gate here. Either one works. Oh. Well, that's a lot. Nexerlin has an option to skip the hyperspace event thing for unlocking new movement. I didn't know that. I haven't used Nexerlin on the current patch. But that's pretty cool. In fact, I might turn that on for my next playthrough. Just get that sweet slip surge right off the bat. It's not quite threat time. I think we're going to fight more of these. 312%? Yeah, surely there won't be any issues that 2 of them are fighting me now. This will be fine. Okay, so we do need to capture this as fast as possible. I'm thinking that we're going to have to do this. And I'm going to go capture the sensor jammer. Oh, we're also in the solar corona, of course. Although, I guess that doesn't really affect us. We're all capital ships, and all of our ships should have fine peak performance. It might actually hurt them more than it hurts me. So we just need you to make sure to get that. No, I did not mean to do that. Okay. Yeah, no, it let the other one take it, even though they both showed up at the same time. But it did manage to kill the other one. Can it take the capture point? I don't think it's looking too hot. Yeah. Not looking great. Although we can get the old slot out if we can just capture this. Okay, we got the comm relay. That gives us access to just enough for this. Alright. Leaving the Eagle behind is probably not the big deal. It's one of the less important ships. So we should be fine with what we have. Although, is it enough for 2 Ordos worth? Guess we'll find out. And if not, I guess it'll just be game over. We just lose. Let's get over there. Can I snipe it? Come on. I was on target, but it didn't detonate. Damn. Unfortunate. Okay, these things are easy. These things are laughably easy. It looks like the Radiants are going to come out last. Beautiful. Look at all those salamanders. They're not doing much, but I do like looking at them. Ooh, narrow dodge. I'm not actually sure if they can see... So I know the way that it works is that the AI can see missiles. But I'm not sure, and I know it doesn't see normal projectiles. But with the voltaic cannon, I'm not actually sure if it can see them. Because sometimes they seem to dodge it. I'm not 100% convinced. How are you guys doing? Well, the Legion's taking a beating. You're doing alright. You're doing alright. Okay, let's get some EMP on you. Okay, that is a lot of fighters. Flash bombers. Come on. There we go. And yeah, the Legion is still doing alright. Looks like it's run out of repairs, though. Might need to retreat it. Oh, it just overloaded for no reason. Alright. I mean, seriously. You shot it down from over there. You can still reach. Alright, fine. Be that way. I didn't need the Reapers anyways. Yeah, see, now I've EMP'd your heavy blaster lasers. No, burst lasers. That's what they're called, burst lasers. The paladin alone does not have the strength. Wow. Skated by that one. Oh, right, there was a fighter in the way. My bad. Okay, so I think we can remove that. I think we could tell you to leave. Yeah, 8,000 hull. Starting to think you can just leave. Then again, if you die, it's not really an issue, so... yeah, go get them. Good job, Princess. Tear them out like the preschoolers they are. Alright. Lads, how are we? I'd say things are going pretty well. A little too well. I do like how this thing has 4 breach pods and it's not firing them at the shieldless ship. Truly beautiful. It's saving them for when it's on high flux, of course. This one's got sabos. Seriously, that slipped by? Alright. My mistake. Oh, there's no need to be so cynical, cooler guy. I'm sure the people who... I'm sure the chatters aren't just looking for a free ticket into pilot school. They like you as a person. Or do they? If I had the Vsauce music, then I would have it kick in right there. Yeah, I guess I'll collect those. Alpha Core, nice. So the answer was yes, we can take on 2. Which means we can get derelict operations. Right, I did pick up new ships. So if I drop those... yeah, now we're down to 185. We've got room. I didn't know they trained you to pilot a Talon. That's what we do in this army. I guess well, no, I guess that would be the last one where we had Talon School. In this one, it's OSHA safety inspectors, right? I guess I'll take the slipstream and go grab a gate. I was going to do the binary jump, but... I mean, it literally just popped up under me. What else am I supposed to do? Okay, why is it automatically changing? Can someone explain this? So it was taking me here, then it switched to here. Like, it switched twice. Like, the gate isn't suddenly... Wait, did the gate actually move enough that it changed from here to here to here? I mean, it is kind of in the middle of them. Yeah, what are the odds that it would pass right by, like, the midway point between all of them right now? That's got to be a pretty rare occurrence. Yeah, this place is still disrupted, and you have to use transverse jump. Interesting. How long does it stay like that? Surely it doesn't stay like that forever. Probably the luckiest event you've ever seen. Not just in video games, but in real life. We just witnessed one of the rarest events possible, mathematically speaking. And it was so mundane that people might not have noticed if I didn't point it out. You know, life is just like that sometimes. It really says a lot about society. Should probably drop a alpha core in there. One of my newly found, freshly minted alpha cores. Also, I completely forgot to drop off these crew transports. Don't think I want that. I think I want to spam a bunch of these ones. Okay, so yeah, they don't have helms and ship. Okay. Let's see. If I can copy this... Do I have enough? I'm one short. Yeah, you've got the idea, Crawler. It says a lot about the fact that a very mundane event just so happens to be very rare, and I showed up at the same time, says a lot about society. That's exactly right. I mean, if you don't understand it, you're just not thinking deeply enough. Oh yeah, degraded shields, faulty power grid, structural damage. What the fuck is this piece of shit? Well, it doesn't matter. Slap on some S-mods, call it a day. Okay, so when I clicked here, it showed a breach missile, but now it's got... Where did that Gorgon come from? How does that work? Ah, alright. Yeah, so this thing is... Yeah. Deployment points 3. But I think if it gets up to enough D-mods... Deployment points 3. I think if you get up to 5 D-mods, they come down to 2. Right? Yeah, that seems right. Or maybe they don't. I don't... No, because it's 30%, right? So it'd be 2.8, which is still round up to 3. So I guess the optimal amount of D-mods would be exactly 2, because that should round down to 3. But I guess I don't really want to bother trying to optimize the D-mods, because that is the biggest pain in the ass. So you're getting all the D-mods you get. Okay, what was I... Right. Item. Install that. Drop this off. Yeah, seems about right. Head back over here, drop off those 2 weapons. I guess at this point I should go out into the abyss with a bunch of transplutonics. Might as well. There's not much else. Well, no, hold on. I did say the end goal was the Tesseract bounty, so I should probably be grinding reputation with a contact so I can actually get that. I wonder what faction the Joker would be part of if he was cryofrozen and ended up in the Persean sector. I think pretty clearly he would be part of the hegemony. Can you imagine the Joker in an officer's outfit? I think he would do that and then, like, subvert the law and order of the hegemony from within. You know, because it would be funny. Right, I think everyone would look at the Joker and, you know, oh, he's chaotic. He'd be with the Luddic Path or the Pirates. No, 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 no. That's too obvious. Joker's smarter than that. Yes, when the taxman shows up at your door wearing Joker makeup, now you're really fucked. We live in a hegemony. Yeah. Precisely. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just going there. Go to Zagon. Wait, can we enter through those? Wait, I couldn't leave like 2 seconds ago. Try Tachyon Joker, maybe. I mean, all of these are great potential ideas. Okay, so yeah, you can go in through the jump point, but not leave. Can't wait for the Joker Persean Sector fanfiction. He got isekai'd. What can I say? Let's go over here. Which, oh wait, that reminds me. That's what I just described is almost the actual plot of a real anime that exists. But instead of the Joker, it's the Suicide Squad. Like Harley Quinn. I'm not making that up, that's a real thing. I almost forgot that existed. Holy shit. There is actually a Suicide Squad anime where Harley Quinn goes to a fantasy world through a magic portal. I can't believe that's... I forgot that was real. Yeah, like these are the actual characters. They had the rights and everything. It's not like a parody. This is like an actual thing that was produced. It wasn't good. But I mean, DC has always had a problem making good media outside of the comics. Or I mean, I say that because I'm being nice to comic fans, but I don't read the comics. For all I know, they could be terrible. Yeah, I have heard the Justice League animated, like the animations have been good. I'm thinking of Batman, but it was medieval Japan, or is that a different one? I mean, if it was Batman, then it was a different one. Yeah, the ones from 20 years ago. Wait, how old is that Justice League animated? The one that people quote as being good. Right, so anyways, I should be giving you cores. I don't need these either. Yeah, I'll take that. Right. We've got to go over to not Kulon, but the other one that's harder to pronounce. Hey, buddy. Wait, did I not? Alright, hold on. Do I not have you as a contact? Hold on. Develop contact. There we go. He was just a potential contact. I forgot to develop. My mistake. Now we can do the work. So, 160,000 versus 77,000. Okay. Sometimes the highest, the quote-unquote hardest option actually ends up not being the hardest option. So it's worth checking. Hyperion, Afflictor, Omen. Sounds fun. That's it? Alright. Cool. Guess we'll just go do that right away. We'll build up our reputation as fast as possible. Get that special bounty. Or wait. You know what would be a lot easier? It'd be killing one of these things. One of these special assurance fleets. Not necessarily that, not saying the fight would be easier, although it probably is, but more so that it's just easier to actually... You don't have to worry about reputation with any of these damn contacts. He forgot to wine and dine him. He can wine and dine himself. Okay. I wasn't trying to do that, but that was kind of funny. I think they tried to use emergency burn to get out of the way, but they were a little too late. Okay, that was a little premature. How do you control the Raelian? Does neural uplink hull mod stay after removing the skill? No, the hull mods don't work if you remove the skill. But I do have the skill, so it's not a problem. It's been at least 3 years since 2001. Well, that's good to know, Crawler. I haven't really been keeping track of the time, so it's good. So it's at least 3, and up to infinity. Who's to say, really? I'm not about to do the math. That's because medium difficulty can be a special bounty, which are harder than the normal bounties. But why? Why wouldn't the special bounty be for the harder difficulty? Yeah. So this thing has 5 combat ships. I think we're going to solo this. Turn around! Damn, that went a lot further forward than I thought it would. Gotta make sure to take that out first. Guess I'll get the Medusa next. The crewmen yearn for death. Yeah, they're trying. But we're crew, sir. We're meant to be expendable. Not to me. Nice try, idiot. I've got mining lasers on the back. That means that you have to stay phased, or you're going to take 10 damage a second. OSHA has trapped them in an eternal cycle of undying suffering in the void. Well, now it's starting to sound more like a cosmic horror than a health and safety organization. But I guess the two aren't entirely unrelated. Yeah, Toho. Yes, that Aurora pilot trained by playing Toho. I wouldn't put it past Tritachyon to try something like that. Now, I know that these things only have salamanders, but auto-resolve doesn't, so let's see if this works. Yes. Clear oversight in the game design. Game is ruined. That is so unrealistic. It's over. I sent in ships with nothing but salamanders and they killed them. I mean, salamanders do like 100 fragmentation damage, so I guess if they just keep their engines flamed out, eventually they would kill them. So maybe it's not that unrealistic. Okay, Man, it is so inconvenient that, of course, the capital of Tritachyon, where the important characters are, is one of the few systems in the core worlds that doesn't have a gate. How did this happen? Is there a specific schedule for when you stream? I've been doing it at Sundays at the same time. Maybe I should put a schedule in like the channel banner. Something like streams at, this time, UTC, whatever the number would be. Sunday. Maybe Tritach blew up their gate like Galatia. You thought it was still Saturday. Well, I guess it depends on your time zone, but no. Today is Sunday. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That's not true. I love being the bearer of bad news. It's fun watching people's hopes get crushed. You can see the exact moment that their heart breaks. Okay, let's talk to him. No, wrong planet, wrong planet. My bad. I thought it was Saturday too, so I wish my friend a happy birthday. A day late? Oof. That's a mistake. Cartoon skit of salamanders hitting engines enough times that the ship just ran straight into an asteroid. I imagine that there'd be some cartoon, like, slipping noises. Like some Scooby-Doo sound effects. And then everyone dies in a horrible explosion. It's perfect. Yeah, this will probably be fine. 300 Marines? I'm afraid I can't do that. Because any mission involving Marines means that some of them are going to die. And that's just not allowed. Yes, salamanders are the cartoon bananas of space. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Oh, this one doesn't have enough accessibility. That's why. Alright. Gonna have to fix that. So slap all of those down. Ragnar Complex it's right next to it. Will I be able to? Well, there are fleets right there. So, maybe not. Spy sat missions. They're just like, yeah, I think Starsector should be a stealth game. That would be cool. Yeah. Cool. Alright, I think I'm just gonna leave. There's gotta be a way to do this, though. Is there a sensor array in the system? No. There's a comm relay, but not a sensor array. That sucks. I mean, it's only Ragnar Complex. It can't be that hard. Wait, okay, hold on. What if I kill these guys? Do they recognize me? Wait. Okay, wait, maybe if I just do this. Does this make spy sat missions easier? Can you still do it like this? Is recently spotted or currently tracked. Okay, so it's not that easy. Okay, they went inside there and despawned. And then a new fleet pops out. That's stupid. So, wait. It's funny how they say, identify yourself immediately. But they've already identified me. Interesting. Well, this is stupid. You have the old slot, remember? I didn't. But I do now. I don't think... But the thing is, they're just straight up on top of the spy sat point. Like, they were orbiting on top of it. I'm not sure, even if I drop everything off, that... I mean, there's probably going to be a window where I can do it, but I'm not... You know what? Maybe if I just go back, maybe he's got new missions for me. Something that's going to be more interesting. Spy sats are one afflictor gaming. Yeah, that's pretty much the right... That's a good description for them. This is my reputation. Well, my reputation took a significant hit from that. Yeah. more challenging. I'll take that. Organs. So I need to acquire the organs. Seems easy enough. Go do a sensor ping, and then... I'm not sure... The thing is, Watsu, I think my fleet needs to be faster to pull that off. Because I've tried to do the sensor ping trick to draw their attention, and then go dark and dodge around them as they run after you. It never seems to work. They always seems to catch you before you can get out of the way. So I think you need, like, the sensor skill to actually be fast enough to pull it off. We're gonna get some more of these. Didn't hit F1. There we go. I guess I can go to Syndria. Get some cheap drugs. Not drugs, sorry. Organs. Force I have it. They predict your movement vector simply by changing direction after you ping. They go different away. Yeah, that's the thing. I've done that. They always seem... So, I don't know about you, but my experience is that even after you go dark, there's still like 2 seconds where they can track your movement. So you have to like keep going in the same direction for like another 2 seconds even after you activate it. And then you can turn around. And because of that, if you don't have sensors, you're just not fast enough to pull it off. That's been my experience. So where's the bounty? It's over there. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to make a formal complaint. That would be silly. I'm going to make an informal complaint. Plenty of spaced out maneuver. Yeah, maybe I'm just not going far enough. That might be it. Could be I'm trying to pull off the trick a little too close. Research station. Hello. I'll just add that to the list. Speaking of, I should probably take some of these things off. It's a little crowded in here. Let's buy a little more fuel, and then I'm going to use this for a slip surge. And then I'll sell back some of the organs I just bought. A brilliant move, if I do say so myself. If you're at least a full screen away, that should be enough room. Alright, I'll give that a try sometime. Another research station. Red Dwarf. I use that to draw a lot of remnants away. Well, the thing is, remnants don't use emergency burn or sustained burn, where patrols do. So something that's reliable as a trick against the remnants is not always going to be consistently effective against the player factions. It's the one thing that remnants are worse at. Navigation. They were just straight up waiting at the jump point. Nice. Yeah, look at that. 35 deployment points, 28, 33. Just beautiful. Does this have 5 demods now? It does. No, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, there it is. 5. Okay. It's funny that it's... There you go. I was wondering when it was going to activate. Come on, Grandpa. It's time to keep up. They should add emergency burn to remnants in some random patch to jump scare people. That would be miserable. Should probably let them take care of the Harbingers, because they don't really get that affected by their system. But at the same time, it's not like the AI is very good at coordinating their attack anyways. Hit him with the stun, hit him with the gun. Blam. Here's how to skin a Medusa. Starting to think this derelict operations thing is pretty good. What is... So I should be able to check. Yeah. Reputation is 8. This is going to take a while. Yeah, it reduces by 2. And it went up by 3. Yeah. So it went up, but that was a +1 overall. Awesome. Console commanded. Oh yeah, there is a way to console command reputation, isn't there? Hey, boss. I pill you. Hello, gamer. You might even say. I don't actually remember the commands to raise reputation, though. And I don't have console commands turned on right now. But I guess I could just restart the game and turn that on to get the bounty. But then it's like... Then it's kind of over? Honestly, I think I could beat the bounty with this fleet, even without relying on derelict operations. Because the fleet didn't get... Like, changing from crew training to this didn't... Like, it did make the ships a little bit weaker, but not a lot weaker. And in exchange, we get a lot more deployment points. So I gotta say, I think derelict operations, where hull restoration feels like about on par with crew training, I think derelict operations is significantly better. it feels a lot more appropriate for a, at least from a combat perspective. Obviously, when it comes to hull restoration, there's also the logistical bonus. But at the same time, the derelict operations fuses those two things into the same thing. You get both the combat bonus and the logistical bonus in one package. And it gives you a better bonus regardless. Yeah, I think the reason that a lot of people prefer hull restoration is just because D-mods are ugly. What's the name of your faction? OSHA. Yeah, over without even building your whole fleet, exactly. Because I don't think it's necessary for even the Tesseract bounty. If I can beat double Ordo, then this fleet can beat the Tesseract bounty. Because there's only one Tesseract, and sure, the remnants get S mods, but I mean, it doesn't make them that much stronger. I've played against them in the simulations. It's like, yeah, they're a little stronger, but not that much. Shiny ship is better than ugly ship, yes. Yeah, see, exactly. That's why. Gas giant, okay. That's why people like hull restoration. But if you look at the facts, alright? If you stop thinking with your feelings and start thinking with your facts and your logics, you'll realize hull restoration is actually mid, and derelict operations is peak. Yeah, must be a president colony to manage, unfortunately. Wow, that is already making a lot of money. 27%. Of course I can't see market data for... Wait, so I can tell that it's 27%, but I can't see the market data. Seems like a little bit of an oversight. Take both. Yeah, taking... Yeah, just increase the level cap to 40, because then you get to take all of the skills. Hull restoration and derelict operations work... that's funny, I do think I saw someone say that they like taking both derelict operations and hull restoration. I don't know if they were... I hope they were being ironic. I think I've read this one before. Yeah, this is the... Yeah, this is when the defenses turn against the colonists. Okay. I got soil nanites. Yeah, so the first time... So the automated defenses of the station turned against its occupants. And the first time I got that, I got combat drones as one of the items on the station, which seemed to make a lot of sense because it fits. It's like, oh, there was an automated defense system that killed the occupants. Here's the combat drone replicator. Unfortunately, at the time I thought that was scripted, but no, we got soil nanites this time, so unfortunately not. It was just a pure coincidence that we got something so fitting. Yeah, okay, this is that one. Another plasma dynamo. Very cool. Apparently we're just getting plenty of colony items right here. They're not doing much for me. Well, I guess the soil nanites mean I could go for a farming colony. Not that I need one. You ever just salvage a kite and find a Paragon blueprint? Yeah. Eaten by agricultural nanites like that one Doctor Who episode. Yeah, but Doctor Who is British, and I would never watch British television. It's almost as bad as Canadian television. No, I'm just kidding. They're not even remotely close. Canadian is way worse. Oh, you'd get shanked for that in London town? I don't think that was very good. I can do better. But I'm also tired, so I'm not going to. $200. You don't need 500 heavy machinery. You just need 200. Utterly awful. Thank you. Huh. Why isn't it cold? I think this is the only tundra in the sector that's not cold. Kinda weird. So you just have industrial planning. Okay. No hypercognition here. Yeah, so we're second highest. Okay. No, I've seen solar array around tundras that spawn in the outer worlds, and it doesn't remove the cold. Bro, again? 330 units of... Bro, you gotta find a better dealer if he's consistently leaving you out to dry. See, I love how you can get relationship from buying an old freighter, even though you don't need it. We already had... Wait. I like... Why did we have that conversation again? Seems like a bit of a... Yeah, we're just going to take all these missions. All right. Oh, you're right. Her name is Sun. CEO Sun. And so she, wash away the rain. That's why it's not cold. You guys are right. That's so smart, actually. It's like a subtle storytelling device about how Sun brightens up the Tritachyon Corporation. Which is why, after being ousted by the New Guard, and then they failed, she came back. She's the guiding light of the Tritachyon Corporation. This is actually it's actually really smart. I have finally caught a stream. Well, it's good to see you, Frank. I'll show you the... Or it could be how they fly too close to the sun by doing insane experiments. That's also true. That's another good interpretation. Been binging your vids over the last week. Thanks for the tier lists. I'll help you find them useful. I do plan to make more, although I started on the first one and then kind of put it on the shelf for like the last 2 weeks. Should probably finish that. Let's see. Guess I'll just do the organs again real quick. That'll be easy. When was your last video? Was it 2 months ago? 3? No, wait, the Mechabellum one might be only a month ago. My last Starsector video has definitely been a while. Okay, I need 330, so that's not quite enough. I guess we'll go over to Kathleen. No, they're still following me with their little Shrike and their Omen. Man, only 10. Yeah. I guess I've got to go see the pirates. Bro, they're still following me. Oh my god. I don't think I've seen this before. This is pretty crazy. They really came all the way out here just to do nothing. Yeah, he actually caught up. Yeah, the algorithm does require engagement. Now, I know there's a system on YouTube to clip streams, but I'm wondering if you can download those clips. Because then being able to do that and then just re-upload those as shorts would be a really cheap and easy way to engage the algorithm. And potentially draw in those sweet ad bucks. But I don't know if they let you do that. Because, unfortunately, one of the features of... so this is something that's really dumb. Is one of the features of YouTube Premium is that you can download videos, but you can only watch them through YouTube. You can't, like, download them so that you can then put them in your video editor. No, 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 no. They don't come in a format that works for that. They come in a format that only really works if you play them through the YouTube browser. So the only point of downloading things is to watch them on YouTube when you're disconnected from the internet. But it doesn't actually let you download things so that you can use them in your video editor to make a video. Why? And that's the only thing that gives me pause and makes me think, well, yeah, you can clip things in YouTube, but you would assume that would let you download things. But not necessarily, because that would be too straightforward. Ooh, alright. There we go, that's a little... Okay, we only need... Don't need all of that. Let's just get 15. Have organs always sounded like that? The pickup sound is a little... I think the pickup sound is a little different from what I remember. There's an extension for downloading YouTube videos anyways. Yeah. It's just a browser extensions will do what the website itself won't. Okay, yeah, it's just the start of the orbital station. Gotcha. What's our market percentage at now? 26%. It's only going to get better from here. 150% accessibility, too. You know, not bad. It's alright. So those deliveries, despite being right next door and being relatively easy, are giving me more reputation than anything else so far. And more money, for that matter. That's a good deal. Those trade missions are a really good deal. It's got so much money that I'm going to waste some of it getting heavy batteries. Oh, this reached size 6 when I wasn't paying attention. Wow. Guess we'll get a military base. Okay. Guess we'll go to this. Now we don't need to sabotage Syndra. We'll be fine. Alright. I think I'm going to cut things a little early because I am pretty tired. So next time we'll pick up where we left off. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to start up. Yeah, I think next week hopefully we'll finish things off. And then the week after that I'll start like a modded run. At least that's the plan. And also in the next couple of weeks, hopefully so what I've been told is that Brawl King will hopefully start coming out by late June, if things go well. So we'll see about that. Well, I hope you all had fun. I am gonna go take a nap. Lobster. You know, it'd be funny if I just didn't say anything and instead just ended on lobster and then left. Well, I guess it's too late to do that.